So what is a version? If we click on releases here, we can see that he is saying start versioning. Versions help you package and schedule project deliveries. Add a version to start collecting and releasing your work. Create a version. So like we see, there is no difference between a release and a version. But I need to distinguish between the version or the release and the build, because there is a big difference between them. Like we say, we have build 1, build 2, and version 1 or version 2. Many people misunderstand the difference between them and use all terms interchangeably, but this is not correct. So we have release or version. I will consider them as being the same. And then on the other hand, we have build. So what is the main difference? So first, the build is a software that is executable and can be run on a computer. So for example, the developers wrote code, they integrated their code, gave us an executable file. Okay, for example, if this is an Android version, we can say that it has extension of .apk, and we as testers can work on this build and test it, find defects in it and report them to developers. On the other hand, the version is something that is developed also, but it's going to be shipped to users or client. Okay, so we begin by builds, and after a period of time, those builds are converted into releases or versions. Of course, this means that the build is still in testing or under test, okay? But the release or version, if we say that this is release number 1, this means that mostly it's ready for deployment. Okay, so who is the person who hands over the build? So the build goes from the development team to the QA team for testing. Okay, we developed the build, we need testing of this build. But the release or version is handed over from the QA team to the client or the customer or the end user. So in this case, we can say that what we upload on the store, whether it is Android or iOS, is the release or the version. Okay, so you find that we have Uber version 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. Those are versions or releases. Each one of them passed through many builds. It might be one build, it might be 2 builds, or more than this number. So for example, if we are talking about Agile, we can have, for example, 1 month. Okay, inside this month we have 4 sprints or iterations. At the end of this month, we are planning to release a new release or version. Okay, but at the end of each week, we have a build that is ready for testing, and the customer gives us feedback about its quality. But at the end of the month, we have a new release or a new version. So if I look at the store, at Uber, for example, we have version 3.476.1002. This is a version. You don't see builds on the store. If we click on version history, so like you see, those are all the versions. Okay, the first one is 5 days ago, and those are all the updates that are done inside this version. Before it, we have another one 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, 1 month, 1 month, 1 month, then 2 months, then 3 months, 4 months, until 5 months. Okay, if we go back and search, for example, for Facebook, this is Facebook. So like you see, version history, this is version 337. Okay, and we have also around 1 version each week. Those are big applications that have frequent updates. But if we search for example, Clubhouse, okay, So like you see, this is version 1.0.11. So we are still in version 1. Clubhouse has many defects. So like you see, we have many versions, okay, or many releases. But if we search for Udemy mobile app, so like you see, this is version 8.5, and the last version was 1 week ago, 3 weeks ago, 1 month ago, 2 months ago. So if I search for the last application, KFC, for example, okay, KFC Egypt. So like you see here, oh, we have only 5 versions, okay. The first one is 3 days ago, second one is 1 week ago, then 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and 9 months ago, which was version number 1. So not all applications have frequent versions. It depends on the application. So if we go back to Jira and say that, for example, we are planning to have a new version each month. So let's create version 1. We can call it version 1.0. The start date, okay, this date, and then it will take 1 month. Then we have, for example, version 1.1, and the start date is 1 month from now. It will take also 1 month. So those are my versions. The status is unreleased, and each one of them doesn't include any issues because we didn't add any issues to those releases. So those are the versions or the releases in Jira.